The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim agreed to use a new level of approach on the West Philippine Sea issue.
6 suspects over the death of the alleged hazing victim John Salilig have been formally charged before the Department of Justice.
Local government units in Metro Manila prepare a free ride augmentation to commuters if transport groups pursue week-long strikes starting Monday.
And full results of the double asteroid redirection test or DART mission of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration reveal. More detail in News Studies.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of March, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We're also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado.
First in the news, the dispute in the South China Sea was among the topics discussed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim in their bilateral meeting yesterday. The two leaders have agreed to use new approaches in resolving issues in the disputed waters. Nel Maribohok reports.
And visiting Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim have agreed to further enhance the defense and security ties between their countries as they tackled the South China Sea issue. The Malaysian Prime Minister suggested using a multilateral approach on the West Philippine Sea issue to achieve an amicable resolution.
We did discuss the South China Sea issue, and I shared President Marcos Jr.'s concern that due to the complexity and sensitivity of the issue, we should try and engage and take the position at the multilateral level between ASEAN so that we have a comprehensive approach and achieve an amicable resolution to this outstanding problem.
Both the Philippines and Malaysia are claimants to the contested territories in the South China Sea. President Marcos Jr. said the two countries recognize the importance of peace and security in the region.
As immediate neighbors, the Philippines and Malaysia recognize the importance of maintaining peace and security in our region. As such, we agreed to continue our cooperation on political and security matters.
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, failed anew to put up a code of conduct for the South China Sea with Beijing during its summit in Cambodia in November last year. ASEAN and China have been negotiating for a binding COC in the past few years to manage tensions amid competing claims in the resource-rich South China Sea. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, launches Project Danas. This aims to harness the stories of people affected by earthquake, tsunami, and volcanic eruption. PHIVOLCS will document the experience narrated by locals and use the layman's terms they pronounced. These will be compiled in crafting materials for information and warnings that the agency is providing to the public. PHIVOLCS believes that this project would increase public awareness and move them to respond or act appropriately in times of calamities.
Instead na nagpo-produce tayo ng materials na tinatranslate pa natin sa English, bakit pa natin gagawin yun? Kung ang gagawin natin material, direct interview mula sa mga tao sa lingwahe nila, yun na po yung ipapackage natin ng materials.
Maganda project to kasi direct to the people and maintindihan talaga nila yung mga hazards.
The project is targeted to finish in 2 years. The product will also be shared with teachers and disaster risk reduction management, or DRRM, officers in the country.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, assures to give due process on the disqualification case of former Social Welfare and Development Secretary Erwin Tulfo. The poll body said they will raffle the case on March 6, 2023. Chairman George Erwin Garcia explained they suspended Tulfo's proclamation as ACT-CIS representative after a disqualification case was filed against him. One of the grounds is his questionable citizenship.
May issued on a U.S. citizenship o a foreign citizenship. Number two, ang parang sinasabi ay dahil daw sa may conviction ng moral turpitude. At pangatlo yung sabi, dapat daw resign bilang nominee dahil tinanggap ang pagiging secretary ng DSWD.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP, reported today, March 2, that they will continue to work with different banks to lower transaction fees for small e-payments. BSP Governor Felipe Medalla says this is to make digital transformation in the agency to be more inclusive by excluding payments from fees. The agency added that this is part of the digital payment transformation roadmap 2020 to 2023 that aims to convert the half of retail payments volume into digital form.
Davao and Caraga region will experience scattered rain showers and thunderstorms due to the effect of the shear line. The northeast monsoon will also bring rains over Cagayan Valley, Bicol region, Aurora, Quezon, Marinduque, Romblon, and Oriental Mindoro. Palawan, Visayas, and Mindanao will have isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon will experience good weather condition with possibility of having light rains.
The House Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs held a briefing with several government agencies to discuss the situation of overseas workers. Meanwhile, OFW groups want to expedite the process of receiving assistance and benefits from the government. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
OFW Group Bansa said it takes too long for the kin of a deceased overseas worker to receive the death or end of service benefit from the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA.
Sometimes it takes more than 6 months po para ma-claim. So yung mga natutulungan natin, ganun po katagal bago ma-claim yung mga benefits nila, yung mga death benefits. Even sa OWA po, it takes 2 to 3 months para ma-claim po yung death benefits ng worker.
The DFA, OWA, and the Department of Migrant Workers reported the situation of OFWs during a House Committee briefing on Thursday. Based on the data in 2022, 251 OFWs reportedly died, with the leading cause being COVID-19, vehicular accidents, natural causes, and medical illnesses. OWA, meanwhile, assured there are assistance readily available to overseas workers, such as the death and burial benefits and the repatriation assistance. During the briefing, OFW Group Bansa suggested to speed up the process.
So sana maging parehas po tayo, parehas ang ating agency, hindi yung sensationalize, na monitor, na TV. So ando kaagad yung benepisyo. So dapat parehas lang po sa mga OFW na walang connection, na mabilis ang pagre-release ng mga benepisyo at benefits.
The DFA, meanwhile, admitted there is still end-of-service benefits pending in the agency.
Yung mga cases, all the 8% of the cases na mga hindi pa nababayaran, we're trying to work out for as long as ma-work out po yung civil, how do you put it? Let's say kung may kaso man within the family, kung sino i-appoint silang magkukuha ng mga funds na ito.
Meanwhile, lawmakers call on the said agencies to provide unified data for better monitoring of overseas Filipino workers. The concerned agencies welcome the said recommendation and have begun coordination to consolidate their data. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And foreign news abroad, MasterCard and Visa are halting new partnerships with cryptocurrency firms due to unstable market conditions. Visa refuted the reports and they will remain committed to crypto. Monica Canlas tells us why.
The launch of crypto products and services have been pushed back by Visa and MasterCard following a string of high-profile collapses, according to a report on Tuesday. However, a spokesperson for Visa added that the failures do not alter the payment processor's cryptocurrency and blockchain strategy, as stated in Reuters report. Several major card companies have partnered with crypto firms to explore blockchain technology over the past 2 years. But in 2022, crypto industry fortunes changed dramatically as major industry players FTX and BlockFi went bankrupt, raising regulatory scrutiny. Conversely, the head of crypto at Visa, Kai Sheffield, tweeted, "Visa remains committed to investing in the sector despite the recent failures in the crypto industry to improve fiat on and off ramps, along with developing new products that can facilitate stablecoin payments." MasterCard has also recently announced a partnership with Web3 payment protocol Immersive to enable users to make crypto payments. Monica Canlas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The social media platform TikTok announced last Wednesday, 1st of March, that all users under the age of 18 will soon have their accounts default to an hour of daily screen time to prevent teens from endlessly using the app. After the first hour of use each day, the app will warn them that their time is up, so it is easier to log off. The move comes after TikTok and other social media platforms have faced years of scrutiny over the impact on most young users. There are some updates to the app's family pairing facility, which allows a parent or researcher to link their TikTok account to their teens and set controls. Parents will be able to filter videos with words or hashtags they don't want to appear on their teen's feed, set a custom daily screen time limit, and set a custom schedule to mute TikTok notifications sent to them. A study shows that students who regularly use TikTok found that those with addictive tendencies towards TikTok had higher rates of anxiety, stress, and depression. TikTok has rapidly increased its revenue generation in the past few years. In 2021, it generated $4.6 billion, a 142% increase year-on-year. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, has revealed the full result of its Armageddon-like mission called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART. Annie Mancilia tells the details live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Elsie. The full result of NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test mission, or DART, indicated an outstanding outcome than early studies have shown. DART had successfully slammed into an asteroid moonlet Dimorphos last September, which had then altered its course significantly. A new report published today in the journal Nature suggests the moon's orbital period was reduced by around 33 minutes. It is 5 times greater than what experts at NASA had predicted. Thanks to DART's asteroid depletion technique, known as kinetic impactor. According to DART mission lead Dr. Andy Cheng of Johns Hopkins University, the study validates that kinetic impactor technology is an effective technique to potentially defend Earth from future asteroid strikes if necessary. Moreover, the success of the mission has also opened a groundbreaking research on asteroids. In a statement released by NASA, the agency said DART's impact made Dimorphos an active asteroid, granting the detailed study of the formation of an active asteroid for the first time. Elsie?
Thank you, Annie Mancilia, reporting live from Singapore. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The Philippine National Police urged fraternity groups to adopt a strict anti-hazing policy. This is in accordance with Republic Act 8049, or the anti-hazing law. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
The Philippine National Police Public Information Office Chief, Police Colonel Red Moranan, calls on schools to strictly monitor their students after the death of alleged hazing victim John Matthew Salilig. Colonel Maranan said schools should explain to the students the Anti-Hazing Law or Republic Act 8049.
Ang ating pong mensahe sa lahat ng mga fraternity na nandyan sa loob ng eskwelahan, ang pagsasagawa po ng hazing ay isang labag sa batas. Ang penalty po rito ay pagkakulong habang buhay.
The PNP also calls on parents to be mindful of the activities of their children.
Bantayan din ang mga aktibidad ng ating mga pamilya sapagkat malalaman naman natin yan na usually magpapaalam yung mga bata na may pupuntahan, mag-overnight kung saan, and only to find out na initiation rights pala yung pupuntahan. Kaya dapat po nating bantayan kung magpapaalam yung ating mga anak o kapatid na pupunta at mag-overnight kung saan, mas maiging mapasamahan ng ibang miyembro ng pamilya.
Based on the PNP data, incidents of hazing have been decreasing since 2018.
Dito sa pagpapatupad ng anti-hazing law, dapat dito katuwang natin yung mga school officials at katuwang din natin yung pamilya ng ating mga estudyante. Kasi papasok lang ang PNP dyan pag may violation of law na. Yung preventive niyan more on nandun sa mga school officials sapagkat yung mga fraternity natin most open sa loob ng premises ng ating mga eskwela.
Meanwhile, for the PNP, the monitoring of students is a shared responsibility of the parents and schools to ensure their safety. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
6 suspects over the death of the alleged hazing victim John Matthew Salilig were formally charged before the Department of Justice or DOJ today. Dante Amento has the story.
6 frontmen allegedly involved in the death of hazing victim John Matthew Salilig appeared before the Department of Justice or DOJ on Thursday, March 2. They were accompanied by their respective private counsels. The 6 suspects were charged with violation of the Republic Act 11053 or the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018 and underwent inquest proceedings, but they preferred to have a preliminary investigation.
Naisapan na natin yung RA 11053 at in-exercise naman ng ating mga akusado yung kanilang rights at nag-request sila ng PI na preliminary investigation.
The preliminary probe is scheduled for March 10 and they were required to submit their counter affidavits.
So while waiting for their counter affidavit, under custody natin sila.
Meanwhile, the father of one of the persons of interest in the crime also appeared in the prosecutor's office. He was charged with obstruction of justice for allegedly refusing to cooperate with a police investigation. A person of interest also surrendered today and he will be subjected to investigation.
Yes, kanina mayroong sumuko sa Cavite, sa ating provincial director ng Cavite. At ito ay sinundo na ng Binyan na investigation team. At ito ay dadali na doon sa ating himpilan upang mag-undergo din ng investigation.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Commission on Higher Education condemned hazing and all forms of violence in universities and colleges following the death of third-year chemical engineering student John Matthew Salilig. In a statement released by CHED, the Commission offers its deepest condolences to the family of Salilig. CHED commends the Department of Justice and National Bureau of Investigation to conduct a parallel investigation on the case and urged the Philippine National Police to expedite its investigation so that proper charges can be filed against the perpetrators. CHED enjoins all higher education stakeholders, schools, faculty, staff, and students to join hands and actively strive to end the culture of violence that continues to plague in institutions of higher learning.
Meanwhile, around 1:30 in the afternoon, another person of interest in the death of the alleged hazing victim John Matthew Salilig surrendered to Cavite Governor John Vic Remulla and Cavite Philippine National Police. He was identified as alias Sting Master, initiator of the group. According to the police, Sting feared for his safety, so he surrendered. Meanwhile, the PNP is still expecting persons of interest who have expressed their intent to surrender at any time. As of now, 10 persons of interest are still at large, according to authorities. Salilig's remains arrived in Zamboanga City this morning.
Metro Manila local government units are preparing free ride augmentation to commuters if transport groups pursue week-long strikes starting Monday, March 6. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA is already consolidating the number of vehicles that Metro Manila LGUs have in their respective jurisdictions. According to San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, who is also the chairman of the Metro Manila Council, Metro Manila chief executives are preparing to provide free rides to commuters who will be affected by the looming transport strike on Monday, March 6.
Handa ho kaming magkaroon ng libreng sakay gamit ang ating mga LGU at barangay vehicles.
The vehicles of local government units or LGUs will not be limited to their areas. These will be deployed in areas where there will be a shortage of public transportation in the National Capital Region.
Hindi lilimit ng bawat LGU yung kanilang resources sa kanilang city lamang, kundi they are ready to augment other cities.
Meanwhile, the MMDA is ready to suspend the implementation of the number coding scheme on Monday if transport groups decided to pursue a transport strike to provide commuters with an alternative transportation.
Magsususpend tayo if ever ng number coding scheme para yung 20% na nababawas sa mga private vehicles ay maging available.
The MMDA will still monitor the decision of transport groups if they will extend a week-long transport strike before suspending the color coding scheme in succeeding days to avoid confusion for motorists.
We'll play it by ear pero siguro po at least yung Monday muna i-confirm namin by tomorrow kung isususpend namin. Depende po kasi baka mag-declare kami ng 1 week na walang number coding tapos wala palang strike. Patay naman ang traffic natin sa karsada.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Senators grilled transportation officials over the implementation of the PUV modernization program. Meanwhile, 2 transport groups will proceed with a planned transport strike next week. Harleen Delgado reports.
Several transport officials maintained there would be no phase-out of traditional jeepneys past the extended December 31 deadline on the franchise consolidation. In today's hearing of the Senate Committee on Public Services, senators hit the implementation of the Public Utility Vehicle or PUV modernization program of the government, including the slow completion of the route rationalization plan. Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva noted that out of the 1,500 local government units that are expected to submit their route plans, only 139 were approved.
May PUJ driver. I wanted to find out, saan pa talaga ako kasama? Importante ba ako? Naintindihan niyo ba yung 650 pesos a day ko? Isinosurrender ko yung prangkisa ko.
The Senate panel's chairperson, Senator Grace Poe, says the government should not impose a deadline while the program is still hounded by problems. The Department of Transportation admits there are challenges in finalizing the route plans in localities, such as local politics and budgetary constraints.
There are LGUs po talaga that are not really not really interested po to push for a rationalized route because probably there are interests that might be involved.
Ayusin niyo muna yung mga problema ninyo, yung coordination with the LGU, lahat yan, bago kayo magbigay ng deadline. Thank you, at least you're making an effort in extend ninyo. Pampapogi lang yun eh. Hindi pa talaga kayo ready by December if you haven't even complied by more than 10%.
No, ma'am, we will extend to December 31 po to polish the policies, ma'am. Pag nag-end po ng consolidation, hindi po ibig sabihin the following day, modern jeeps na po lahat ang tatakbo. Kasi ang pinaka-problema po, yung mga isang single jeep operator po, nagkakarerahan ho sa ruta yan. That's what we're trying to eliminate.
The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, clarifies traditional jeepneys will not be phased out anytime soon. LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadis vows they will help operators and drivers in consolidating their franchises.
Hindi po sila matanggal kasi po for now we're trying to help them consolidate and we will continue to assist them and we will see to it that no one is left behind, Madam Chair. That is my commitment and the commitment of my agency, Madam Chair.
Ganda ng pakinggan no?
Madam Chair, that is what we intend to do.
The LTFRB says 65,000 PUV franchises have yet to be consolidated. Several groups that have reservations on the franchise consolidation policy of the LTFRB say they are not against modernizing PUVs, but the program should be carefully studied before imposing a deadline that will affect their livelihood. But Transport Group Manibela believes the franchise consolidation would eventually lead to a traditional jeepney phase-out, which they strongly oppose.
Yung consolidation may kaakibat po kasing korupsyon. Hirap na po yung aming mga kasamahan sa transport sector. So sa dulo po nito, phase out pa rin kami kahit anong gawin. Bakit hindi ho kami pautangin ng gobyerno na lang na iayos po namin yung aming mga sasakyan, mas makakapagserbisyo po kami.
Manibela, together with United Transport Federation of Makati, will continue with a transport strike next week. They estimate up to 300,000 commuters will be affected by the stoppage of trips. However, the LTFRB assures they are ready to accommodate the potential affected commuters, saying that they have gathered the commitment of other transport groups not to join the transport strike. Jorlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. Some jeepney drivers appealed to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. amid the phase-out of traditional jeepneys this June 30. They said there should be consideration for traditional jeepneys that fits the standard. Some also said the traditional jeepney is part of the country's culture and tradition.
Sana wag i-phase out yung mga jeep. Kasi kawawa naman kami ng mga driver na naghahanap buhay ng dapat wag nilang i-phase out kasi ito ang ating pinaka nakilala jeep sa Pilipinas.
The increased usage and popularity of vapes, or commonly referred to as e-cigarettes in Australia, led schools to ask for more vape detectors installed in school toilets. Nerissa Dando will tell us why live. Nerissa?
Good evening, Elsie. Based on the data released by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, or ABS, 21.7% of e-cigarette users belong to the age group of 18 to 24 years and is the highest proportion of the age group who have ever used an e-cigarette in Australia, while 7.7% were aged between 15 to 17. Due to vaping's increasing popularity, which other young people may see on televisions and social media platforms as a trend to follow, it now causes major concern in the education sector and now relying on vape detectors installed in school toilets and bots to detect users. An e-cigarette or vape is a device that can be used to heat liquids to produce vapors that users can inhale. Vape aerosols in the device are not water vapor, and many vapes contain addictive nicotine disguised in different flavors. According to the New South Wales Health, the nicotine in one vape can equate to 50 cigarettes. Vapes can contain the same harmful chemicals found in cleaning products, nail polish removers, weed killer, and bug sprays. Danger to one's mental and physical health includes a higher risk of anxiety, depression, and serious lung disease. Long-lasting brain development effects can also occur. In Australia, Australia Therapeutic Goods Administration, or TGA, announced in October 2021 that a prescription will be necessary to purchase nicotine e-cigarettes, nicotine pods, and liquid nicotine. A maximum of 3-month supply at one time or up to a maximum of 15-month supply is permitted within 12 months. Any import from overseas without prescription or over the limitation is illegal and could have a maximum penalty of 222,000 Australian dollars. It remains illegal across the country for local suppliers to sell vapes, e-cigarettes, and e-liquid to a person under 18-year-old. Elsie?
Thank you, Nerissa Dando, reporting live from Japan. As rates of colorectal cancer are seemingly down, the diseases are being seen in younger people more frequently, causing concern among experts. Paul Gatchalian explains why live. Yes, Paul?
Good evening, Elsie. A new colorectal cancer statistics report by the American Cancer Society reveals that while more younger people are being subject to the disease, they are also being diagnosed in the later stages. According to the study, in the United States, 1 in 5 new cases of colon cancer is diagnosed among those younger than 55 years, with 60% of those diagnosed in the more advanced stage of the disease. Arif Kamal, the Chief Patient Officer for the American Cancer Society, explains the trends of the disease in those younger than 55 years.
People with colon cancer is going up by about 2% per year for people under the age of 55. The 20 represents that 20% of all colon cancers now are actually diagnosed in people age 55 and younger, which is pretty alarming. And the 50 represents the 50% reduction in colon cancer risk and death.
He recommended that those aged 45 and over should undergo a colonoscopy to prevent late diagnosis. Elsie, colorectal cancer also remains the highest in Asia, where over 50% of cases of diagnosis and deaths were recorded. According to the World Health Organization, among those 50 to 75 years of age, China sees 280,000 deaths per year, placing it first and followed by Japan, which sees 60,000 deaths per year from the disease. Meanwhile, Elsie, the factors related to colorectal cancer can be attributed to tobacco smoking, alcohol consumption, and human papillomavirus infections, according to the WHO. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, reporting live from New Zealand. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
The Philippine Coast Guard confirms finding a pillow from the missing medevac chopper in Palawan. This as search and rescue operations continue in the incident area within the vicinity water of the region. Asher Kadapan Jr. details why.
The uncle of one of the passengers on board the missing medical evacuation helicopter identifies the dilapidated rainbow-colored pillow retrieved in the vicinity water of Balabac, Palawan today. In a statement, the Philippine Coast Guard says the said pillow was owned by the female patient on board the chopper, also known as the Yellow Bee, as confirmed by her uncle. The search and rescue or SAR team retrieved it approximately 13.64 nautical miles from Balabac proper. This was following the recovery of another floating object that looked like a gas tank, which was suspected to be a debris from the missing helicopter. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armando Balilo confirms both items were found near each other.
Well, meron na tayong nakuhang debris nung ating BRP Malabrigo, no? At kaninang tanghali, may reported na may na-recover na kilo. Ito yung mga palatandaan na ito galing doon sa helicopter at pinagbigay na alam natin ito sa mga kamag-anak.
Aside from the PCG, a ship from the Philippine Navy and air asset from the Philippine Air Force were deployed to assist with the search and rescue operation for the missing helicopter. The PCG, on their part, vows to continue conducting search and rescue despite challenges within the incident area.
Magalaw pa rin yung dagat at yung ating mga tauhan ay nahihirapan, pero tayo naman po ay nagpupursige at para magkaroon ng linaw itong insidente na ito.
Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes has begun its public hearing on the proposal to amend the 1987 Constitution. The panel's chairperson, Senator Robin Padilla, maintains the economic provisions should be amended to liberalize foreign direct investments in the country. He also remains firm that he prefers amending the Constitution via Constituent Assembly or CONAS, where legislators will review and vote on amending the charter. Padilla says Constitutional Convention or CONCON, which was the preferred form of the House of Representatives, is costly for the government. The National Economic and Development Authority says the plebiscite for CONCON would require a huge budget than in CONAS. However, some sector representatives, even a party ally of Padilla, prefers CONCON in amending the Constitution to give voice to the people.
Let's face it, no. The people has a certain level of distrust in the politicians. Kahit ngayon nga, masyado ng maugong, no, na why would the Congress be the one to propose amendments. That's why, if we have people's participation, no, we can have a certain level of integrity.
Repeatedly, Congress failed to listen to the voice of the people, which has in effect repeatedly resulted to our failure to amend or revise the 1987 Constitution. It has been the consensus that a high percentage of our people distrust Constitutional Assembly because it is highly related to partisan politics and the advancement of self-interest among politicians and their patrons. So, Mr. Senator, I am pleading for your honor to reconsider.
The Senate panel will hold 2 more public consultations in Luzon and Visayas.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
Before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 77. It says, "Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live, for thy law is my delight." Those are the reasons behind the news, March 2, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harley Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.